third time I'm participating in K-Fest, and it is different every time. First time I was playing my solo recital, and this time we decided I'm going to play with the violinists. So it's really amazing to be able to share this kind of music, and it's not just classical music, it's also contemporary and modern and jazz, so everything basically. I used to live in Kerry for almost 10 years, but then my work was in Cork and I moved. But yes, this is a great festival. It's growing and it's really unique because it's all styles, and there's art, there's different type of music, different type of art, so it's everything basically.
K-Fest is an extraordinary event, especially for budding artists who are looking for a platform. Myself and Santa today were really grateful for the opportunity to showcase our own music, for example. And I think there's just such exciting exhibits around the place that you might not find elsewhere in Ireland in rural areas such as this.
I guess when we started in 2013, it was kind of still during the recession, and Micah Hearn, who was our arts director from the start of K-Fest, it was his idea that, look, you know, we've got all these derelict buildings around the town. Why don't we use them, bring them back to life for a weekend? And so we got to use empty retail spaces, old mills that nobody in town have been into in 30 or 40 years, a sweet shop that's been closed since the 80s, and it's nearly exactly the same as it was in the 1980s. So it really, you know, not only bring these buildings back, but they made really interesting spaces for artists to put their stuff on. It's the second busiest weekend in the year for the town in terms of tourists and restaurants and bars and all the hospitality sector. And but really, that's one way of measuring something. But really, to measure an arts festival, it's all about how you affect the community, how through the arts you can create discussion, impress people that go on further in their lives afterwards, and take up the arts, and that's the real way to measure an arts festival's success.
It opens up, you know, the whole area to those who've never actually been here before. It's a beautiful area. It brings culture, and I mean, look at all the murals on the walls. Killorglin was a little bit dilapidated for a little bit, and I don't want to be saying that, but it was just a small bit. And now we have murals on the walls, and it's given Killorglin a real, you know, cultural vibe, and it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
It's amazing to be back. The town has changed so much since the beginning of K-Fest 10 years ago, and I think that K-Fest is a huge part of that. Especially like thinking about these murals on the wall behind me that started in 2014, the Paint the Town initiative, and each year a different artist is commissioned to transform a space in the town, and that's a year-round legacy. It's not just this bank holiday weekend. There's art and there's reminders of these new ideas, new colours, new people passing through this area, that stays with us all year round, and then that excitement builds up to the bank holiday every year.
I work with children a lot, and I work with card and fabric, fibre. So I actually had a little bit of an incident a few months ago where I had to stay still, so all this got produced from that. And I didn't have time it was too late for me to apply for the art part, so I said I'd do the craft. So that's why I'm here today, really. But I do rings and butterflies and birds and animals and islands and rocks, you know, so.
Sometimes Kerry is really just associated with, you know, summer holidays, tourism, bus tours, people coming from over the world to see the main sites, the Ring of Kerry, and go home again. But an event like K-Fest shows and showcases that the communities here are incredibly creative and open-minded, and that there's this space for people to visit all year round, and that they will be welcomed with open arms all year round. So I think for local businesses, an event like K-Fest, it brings new people into the town, makes them aware of this area as a place to be and a place to meet new people. One of my favourite things about this festival is that it is so open-minded. It's really focused on celebrating up-and-coming artists, whether those are musicians or visual artists. It's not really about the established headliners that so many festivals focus on. It's about recreating our notion of a small town in Ireland through using spaces for new types of art. It's about bringing challenging ideas into a rural area, which I really love as well. You know, K-Fest isn't afraid of talking about politics or gender or inequality in our community. Everything's here. It's an open door, and whether you're someone who always engages with these sorts of ideas or never does, you'll find it here, and I think that's really, really special.